I'll admit I've been putting it off for days. I have been let down so much this year and last year from series such as Daredevil Season 3. A lot of people loved it. I thought it was a letdown in me. Reboots and revivals of movies and TV series of the past, and they just tend to suck. And I just got so fed up where everything that I looked forward to ended up sucking. And even sequels, too. Sequels sucked as well. But I finally sat down about 2 hours ago and watched Rocko's Modern Life Static Cling on Netflix. And I will say that I was very, very surprised. I was so. I just. It felt like the 90s all over again and the modern era. I'll admit the first 2 minutes of it, when they're in space, and I was kind of like, a little taken aback by it. I'm like, yeah, but then again, when I wasn't in the right mindset. I was in the mindset of I'm not gonna like this. So now that I thought it over, I'm like, holy shit. This had so many references to the classic series back in the 90s. Heifer and Filbert fighting was hilarious as hell. Heifer having the remote stuck between his booty crack was hilarious. They referenced everything. Almost every classic character was in this with almost the exact same voice actor or actress as well. And there are even things where, Rocko goes through the opening, opening credits, opening theme song. He did that in his own series, I think, 2 or 3 times in the classic series, but in the movie he does it again. They also had the ringtone of Season 1, which was by a different band. And I was thinking the whole time, like, oh, you've referenced everything. You have got to have the original theme song. I'm like, maybe they won't do it. Maybe they won't. Because I was about, I think, 20 minutes into it. I'm like, maybe they won't do it. And then it popped up. Someone's phone rang, and it was the original one. Not the Rocko's Modern Life, the creepy desert-sounding one. It was the original poppy electronic kind of theme song with Rocko's Modern Life, which I like more. I like the Season 1 theme song more than 2, 3, and 4. And I was blown away by it. And then it happened. They had Ed's son wanna be trans and went from Ralph to Rachel. And I was, for a good 5 minutes, I was like, why? Don't go SJW, come on. But then it hit me. This show is 20 years later. It's not the 1990s anymore where people were hush, quiet about that. And it was really obvious because if you were a trans girl, everyone knew because you look like a dude still. You had fake boobies and sometimes fake butt injections, but you still look like a dude. And you generally had beard hair as well, like little stubble that was still there because the medication wasn't as strong back then. The shots weren't as strong back then. The hormones weren't as strong back then. And if you were a male trans, you still look like a girl. And it hit me, I'm like, it's a different world. They're changing a character. And he still had the same voice. He didn't try to, oh, hello, I'm Rachel Bighead. He didn't try to sound like a girl. The one thing that was really weird, but it's kind of like it catches your attention. Ralph, like the microphone they recorded him with, or the editing they did in the sound mixer, sounded so different from everyone else's. And then I went back and watched the Wacky Deli, and it didn't sound as pronounced. Like, he sounded like he was in the same room as everyone else. And then in this one, he's like, hello, everyone. And Rocko is, like, farther away. Hey, hello, Ralph. That was kind of creepy. Sorry about that. But yeah, like, he sounded more pronounced. But yeah, so I got over the trans thing. And I'm like, I get it. It makes sense. Everything else is different. Everything else is changing. I really, really enjoyed this. And I'll probably watch it again one more time. Every character... And there were things that I don't even remember now that they referenced. And it's not just the characters, it's not just the bickering back and forth, it's not just Heifer's grandpa being dead and a ghost, it's not just taking all the past, it's taking it and reviving it for a modern world. And I can honestly say, I truly and deeply enjoyed it. And if you haven't watched it, I suggest you watch it. And if you have watched it and you didn't like it, see it again, but through this mindset. It's not the 1990s anymore. It's 2019, and I believe this was made or finished in 2017. So keep it in that mindset, is that it's not going to be the 90s where there are no cell phones, minimalistic computers and stuff like that. It is now Rocko set in our world. It's still a cartoon. It's still escapism. It's still Rocko's Modern Life.